So this is our Rely Alert tracking ankle bracelet, full GPS and cellular. Inside this device has a cell phone. So if the offender leaves an area that he's not supposed to, an inclusion zone or an exclusion zone where he enters, we can actually call the device. We can actually get his police officer talking to him via the ankle bracelet. And it's also good that when he has a condition of a house arrest or a curfew, that he can actually call back to us, to our monitoring center, to say, listen, I got a flat tire, and we'll notify that. We'll write it down in the logs. We can contact all the people that's related to his ankle bracelet and let them know that he could be late, so we don't have to breach him. The other thing is we got a 95 decibel siren in here. So this works perfectly well. If a pedophile enters into a park, we can set off the siren. It brings attention to the individual, so everyone knows that something's not happening. That's not right. We use on our ankle bracelets, we use a system called a tough cuff. We have metal on the outside, metal on the inside, and we have fiber optics. So if an individual were to cut this, we get notified immediately. If he was trying to pull it off or anything, we'd get a strap tamper alert immediately. And the strap tamper alert protocols are to send out police. We've been in this arena since 2009. The police reached out to us, or I reached out to the police of how we can do something for the community. So the thought process was bringing ankle bracelets into Red Deer, trying to disrupt the crime levels that we were seeing. And one of the key things that we saw was domestic violence. Domestic violence was going through the roof. There's some horrific numbers that was taking place in Red Deer. So a group of people, starting with the Premier, all the way to our MLAs, Marianne Jablonski and Cal Dallas, we created a team to bring ankle bracelets to Red Deer. And the focus in the program was for offenders of domestic violence. So when a case came to court and charges were being laid, the offender was released on a condition that he had to wear an ankle bracelet and stay away from the victim. We were able to do that by cordoning him off of different areas. So there was no interaction between the offender and the victim.
What we heard from women was that he stopped driving up and down the street 4, 5, 10 times a day to see who was there, what she was doing. He stopped coming around the house. And so the ankle bracelet program was that the fellow was on a no contact order and could not come within 500 meters of her residence, her work, whatever. And the women told us that for the first time in a long time, they were able to sleep at night, knowing that if he violated the no-go zone, police would immediately be dispatched and hopefully avoid any further assaults or harassment. It was a small pilot program. I think at the peak of it, we only had 13 offenders on the bracelet program. But over the span of 3 years, consistently the women said it gave them a sense of relief, and it gave them a sense that if he was not going to follow his conditions, the police were immediately going to know about it and intervene. We could not guarantee absolute safety with the program, but we could guarantee that we'd get notification immediately if he violated his conditions, and that was a big factor for the victims that were involved in the program.
We're still using ankle bracelets across Canada. We supplying the Prince Edward Island Justice Department with all their ankle bracelet needs. Calgary and Edmonton police are using our ankle bracelets for their individuals that they need to monitor. Very successful again. Up in Edmonton, we've got ankle bracelets on pedophiles in areas that they're not allowed to attend. And the good thing about it is they're respecting the conditions that they're dealt with. So everyone's quite happy with it.
Yeah, I remember when we were developing our proposal for government, we went down and visited Nova Scotia's Department of Justice. Brian McDougall had been running the GPS bracelet program in Nova Scotia since 2006, and his words are still with me. Brian said it's not a matter of if Solicitor General, Corrections, the justice system will be using GPS technology in the future. It's a question of when it will be rolled out and scaled up. We were the pioneers, I think, in domestic violence, and our experience would support that this is going to be something in the future. So for us, I think I've always stuck with that belief that it's not a question of if we will be using this technology again in the future, it's a question of when.
I'm born and raised here, and I've seen this city go through a lot of different cycles. With the drugs that we're seeing, new drugs, with the crime rate that we're seeing, it's just, we're losing connectivity. Neighborhood watch used to be a big thing. Now, we don't even know who our neighbors are anymore. We don't talk. That's the problem, is we're not being a community. We live in our own world, and that's where we're staying. We're staying in our little pod. We need to get out if we want to protect our community and our kids growing up in this community and people that deserve to have a great city. We need to step up. We need to, and I use the word disrupt. And the only way we're going to stop the crime in here is if we get in front of it and be proactive with it.